Hey guys, welcome back to The Sports Entertainer. There are a lot of wild wrestling news stories going around today, and some of the top stories for this episode include WWE crowns a new champion after SmackDown goes off the air, the backstage reason for Damian Priest potentially losing his world title, will Ricochet leave WWE for AEW with the right offer, and much more. Make sure you guys have subscribed to the channel with notifications turned on so that you never miss out on any of our daily wrestling videos. First up, Bianca Belair comments on Becky Lynch's WWE absence amid free agency. Now, one half of the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions Bianca Belair was recently interviewed by Denise Salcedo, and among the subjects that were touched on, the situation with Becky Lynch came up in the conversation, and Bianca Belair shared her thoughts on Becky's absence from WWE following her contract expiring, with Bianca saying, quote, "You know, I'm just super supportive of Becky, of whatever space she's in right now, what she wants to do. Everyone knows how pivotal Becky was for my career, not just inside the ring, but outside the ring as well. She's someone that I've always been able to go to and lean on for advice, just as a friend. I would call Becky my friend. She's someone who has stood up for me, led me, and taught me. We see everything that Becky has done for this division, and for the women's division, being one of the 4 horsewomen. If you read her book, you saw what her goal was to turn this women's division into, and I think that she was a huge part of that. She's just so inspiring, and what she's done with her title as an NXT champion, and how she helped the women down there, what she's done with Liv Morgan in the ring, and just in general. She's not a legend in the making, she's a legend. I love when Becky is here in WWE, and I'm just super excited for her for whatever she wants to do right now, but I think that she's the GOAT. I think that she's going to be in the Hall of Fame one day for sure, but I don't see that time coming anytime soon. But no, I'm just super excited for her with where she's at right now. These were definitely some glowing words and praise from Bianca Belair, and let us know what you guys think should be Becky Lynch's next step in wrestling. Return to WWE down the road, or perhaps shake things up in a big way by joining the rival organization AEW. Next up, WWE have no plans for absent star Gigi Dolin. Now, WWE's rosters are certainly stacked across the board, and while that's definitely a good thing that Raw, SmackDown, and NXT have no shortage of talented stars, the one drawback of this is that there simply isn't enough television time for everyone, and one absent star is feeling that drawback right now in NXT, and it's Gigi Dolin, who had recently been in a storyline with Ariana Grace, which was eventually seemingly dropped by WWE, and Corey Brennan of Fightful Select recently provided an update on Gigi Dolin's status with WWE, and clearly WWE don't have plans for her right now in NXT. Quote, Jordan Miller and a couple of other people have asked about Gigi Dolin's whereabouts. Again, I will a broad answer here for you guys, so we've been looking into Gigi's situation a bit, and the most we can confirm now is her storyline where Ariana Grace was dropped. It was dropped for a number of reasons, but we have not been able to confirm them as of now, and for now there are no immediate plans for Gigi Dolin at this time in NXT. Next up, WWE crowns a new champion after SmackDown goes off the air. Now, the Speed Championship was introduced to WWE earlier this year, with the concept being that any male superstar from Raw, SmackDown, or NXT could challenge for this belt, with a time limit for the matches being 5 minutes, and these bouts are streamed on Twitter or X. Definitely an interesting concept on WWE's part, especially in this generation that seems to have a shorter attention span, and the high-flying Ricochet was crowned the inaugural Speed Champion after defeating Johnny Gargano back in late April. However, Ricochet's title reign officially came to an end last night following SmackDown, as it was leaked that Andrade won the Speed title from Ricochet. Now, while we're definitely happy for Andrade getting some shine, even though this isn't a major title by any means, the bigger story here is, what does this mean for Ricochet, whose WWE contract is set to expire very soon? Could this mean Ricochet's on his way out of WWE? Well, we will talk about that possibility in our next wrestling news story. Next up, Ricochet will leave WWE for AEW with the right offer. Now, Ricochet's current contract with WWE is set to expire in the very near future. We don't know the exact date right now, but the general timeline for when it's expected that Ricochet's contract would be done with the WWE is this summer, which obviously is pretty broad, but no doubt not too far into the future. While two wrestling veterans believe Ricochet could choose to move on over to AEW with the right offer, which we'll talk about in a minute, it should be noted that Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select had recently reported that WWE want to work out a new deal with Ricochet, saying, quote, WWE has another contract set to expire this summer. Fightful Select, along with PWN's Viper, have learned that Ricochet's WWE contract is set to expire this summer. It was reported a few years ago in the Wrestling Observer newsletter that Ricochet signed a 5-year deal in 2019. As things stand, that deal is set to expire this summer. Ricochet is expected to get heavy interest from virtually every company able to afford his services. AEW International Champion Will Ospreay was very open in an interview last week in saying that he'd love to face him again. WWE sources have told Fightful's Sean Ross Sapp that there have been contract talks between the two sides. There are numerous WWE contracts coming up this year, as there were numerous 5-year deals signed in 2019 and some 3-year extensions in 2021. We're told that WWE did many of these to coincide with their TV deals. Now clearly, Triple H and WWE wants to keep Ricochet around on the roster, but recently on the Keepin' It 100 podcast, Disco Inferno basically surmised that a lucrative deal from AEW could persuade Ricochet to leave WWE, saying, quote, "If Ricochet gets like double his money, might as well just go to AEW." And his co-host Conan essentially agreed with his take, elaborating by saying, quote, "Which he probably would, but dude, they don't make stars there. He'll have great bangers with Bryan Danielson and Will Ospreay and Okada, because I think to me they clipped his wings in WWE. And I don't know why, because you know me, I'm a big fan of high flying, and I thought he was the greatest high flyer since Rey Mysterio, and they don't let him do anything there." Let us know down in the comments section below if you guys feel Ricochet should choose to re-sign with WWE, or would it be a better decision to take a risk and maybe try his luck in another company like AEW, especially considering his ceiling in WWE appears to be nothing more than the mid-card. Next up, the backstage reason for Damian Priest potentially losing his world title. Now, Drew McIntyre is set to challenge Damian Priest for the World Heavyweight Championship at the upcoming Clash at the Castle Premium Live event later this month, and wrestling legend Bill Apter believes the show will conclude with a new World Heavyweight Champion crowned. Because for those of you unaware, on a recent edition of Sportskeeda's The Wrestling Time Machine, Bill Apter essentially revealed why he believes Drew McIntyre should be the world champion over Damian Priest, saying, quote, "I think it's going to be an excellent match. Drew McIntyre, to me, a lot like Randy Orton, is better on this time around that he's come around. I think right now, in terms of marketing, that Drew McIntyre needs to be champion. As great as Damian Priest is, when you ask people about who is the world champion in WWE, you ask a casual fan, they can't think of who it is. Because as great as Priest is, he doesn't have that fever that Drew McIntyre has to go way far beyond and make people remember him. When Drew McIntyre wins the championship, everybody's going to be talking about him. That's what I think. Let us know if you guys agree with Bill Apter's take regarding why Drew McIntyre should be the World Heavyweight Champion over Damian Priest, and do you believe WWE should have McIntyre dethrone Priest of that title at the upcoming Clash at the Castle show? Well guys, that's it for today's major wrestling news. Make sure you leave a like and comment, and also make sure you subscribe to the channel with notifications turned on so you'll never miss out on an episode. Finally, if you haven't already, give us a follow on Twitter at TSE Wrestling, and we will see you guys in the next video.